I have seen it happen too many times. A strong man who once walked with confidence. A woman who carried groceries without a second thought. Then suddenly their legs start feeling weak. It begins subtly. A little wobble here. A slight struggle to get up from a chair. Then it gets worse. Walking to the kitchen feels like climbing a mountain. The fear of falling starts creeping in. The mind says, move, but the legs refuse to listen. If you are over 70 and noticing this, do not dismiss it as just aging. It could be something serious. I have lived long enough to know that the body whispers before it screams. Ignoring those whispers can lead to something you cannot ignore anymore. I remember when my friend John started feeling weakness in his legs. He brushed it off, said it was just because he was getting old, said he needed more rest. Weeks turned into months. His walks became shorter. He started using furniture to steady himself. One day he fell. It was not a bad fall, just a little bruise, but it shook him. That was when he finally went to the doctor. The diagnosis changed everything. It was not just age. It was a nerve condition that could have been managed if caught earlier. If only he had paid attention to his body when it first whispered. Leg weakness after 70 is not just about weak muscles. It can be a sign of something more, something lurking beneath the surface. It could be poor circulation. When blood does not flow properly, muscles do not get the oxygen they need. The legs feel heavy. Walking feels exhausting. Sometimes it is the nerves. Conditions like peripheral neuropathy sneak up silently. Numbness in the feet, a tingling sensation. Then weakness. The signals between the brain and the legs get disrupted. The legs struggle to keep up. And then there is the spine. The backbone that has carried you all these years might be pressing on nerves. Spinal stenosis. A fancy name for something painful. When the spinal canal narrows, it squeezes the nerves. The legs start feeling weak. Standing for too long becomes unbearable. Sitting feels like the only relief. Some ignore it because they do not want to be a burden. Others fear what the doctor might say. But ignoring it does not make it go away. It makes it worse. I have seen it happen. A simple issue, manageable in the early stages, turns into something life-changing. Walking becomes impossible. Independence slips away. And then the regret settles in. If only I had acted sooner. I remember a woman I met at a park years ago. She was in her 70s, full of life. She loved to walk. Then one day she stopped coming. Months later, I saw her again, this time in a wheelchair. She told me she had ignored the weakness in her legs, thought it was just part of getting older. By the time she sought help, the damage was done. If only she had paid attention to the warning signs. There is still time. If your legs feel weaker than before, do not wait. Do not assume it is normal. Talk to a doctor, get tests done. Sometimes the solution is simple. A deficiency in vitamins like B12 can cause weakness. A lack of exercise can make muscles lose strength. Medication side effects can play a role. Finding the cause is the first step to fixing it. Some changes can help right away. Moving more, even when it feels difficult, keeps the muscles awake. Sitting too much makes them sleep. Stretching in the morning. Taking short walks. Standing up every 30 minutes. These small habits make a difference. Eating foods rich in vitamins and minerals strengthens the nerves and muscles. Lean proteins, green vegetables, healthy fats. Hydration is key. Dehydration can make the muscles weak and the body sluggish. Balance exercises are not just for the young. Practicing standing on one foot, walking heel to toe, strengthening the core. It all helps in keeping the legs stable. And never underestimate the power of a good pair of shoes. Supportive, well-fitted shoes reduce strain on the legs. I have seen people regain their strength just by making small changes. I have seen others lose their ability to walk because they waited too long. The difference between the two is action. Those who listen to their bodies and take steps early stand a better chance of keeping their independence. Those who ignore the signs find themselves needing help for even the smallest tasks. I know what it feels like to be afraid of what is happening to your body, to feel like you are losing control. But fear will not protect you. Action will. The earlier you face it, the better your chances. It is never too late to do something about it. But the longer you wait, the harder it gets. I think about John often. How different things could have been if he had not ignored that first sign of weakness. He might still be walking on his own today. And that woman from the park, she told me she wished she could turn back time. She wished she had listened to her legs when they first started feeling weak. But wishes do not change reality. Actions do. If you are feeling weakness in your legs, do not wait. Do not assume it is just part of aging. Find out what is causing it. Do what you can to keep moving. Strengthen your muscles. Protect your nerves. Support your spine. Because once mobility is lost, getting it back is not easy. And once independence is gone, life changes in ways you never imagined. You have made it this far in life. You have fought through challenges. You have endured losses and celebrated victories. Do not let something as simple as leg weakness take away your ability to live fully. Pay attention to your body. Take action now, because later might be too late. Now let's clear some common questions. How can someone regain lost leg strength after experiencing weakness for months or even years? I have seen it happen more times than I can count. Someone strong and independent starts noticing their legs are not as steady as they used to be. At first, it is just a little difficulty getting up from a chair. Then stairs become a challenge. Walking short distances starts feeling like a chore. The legs feel weak, heavy, unreliable. Months pass, sometimes years. The strength that was once taken for granted fades away. Then comes the fear of falling, the fear of never walking the same way again. I understand that fear. I have lived long enough to know that losing strength in your legs can feel like losing a part of yourself. But I also know that it is not the end of the road. Strength can be rebuilt. It takes time, it takes effort, but it is possible. I remember my old friend Robert. He was a proud man, worked with his hands all his life, built his own house, took care of his family. Then in his 70s, his legs started failing him. At first, he blamed it on getting older. He stopped moving as much. He sat more, rested more, thought he was doing the right thing. But the less he moved, the weaker he got. One day, he struggled to stand up from his chair. That was the moment he realized he had lost more strength than he thought. He told me later that it scared him, that feeling of not trusting his own legs. But Robert was not the kind of man to give up. He asked me, "Do you think I can get my strength back?" And I told him the truth. Yes, but you have to fight for it. The first thing he had to understand was that muscles do not just disappear overnight. They fade when they are not used, and they can be brought back the same way. Through movement, through effort, through persistence. At first, even small things felt difficult. Standing up and sitting down several times in a row made his legs shake. Walking for 5 minutes left him exhausted. But the body is an incredible thing. It adapts. It gets stronger when you demand more from it. The key was consistency. He did something every day, no excuses. Even on the days he felt tired, even on the days he did not want to. He started by simply standing more, holding onto the kitchen counter and shifting his weight from one leg to the other. Then he practiced sitting and standing without using his hands. Slow, controlled, rebuilding the connection between his brain and his muscles. At first his legs wobbled, but he kept going, and little by little they wobbled less. Walking became his greatest challenge. His steps were small, slow, unsteady, but every day he walked a little more. At first just around the house, then to the mailbox, then down the street. He held onto a cane at first, but he told me, "I don't want to depend on this thing forever." So he practiced walking without it. Short distances at first, then longer ones. His confidence grew as his strength returned. Nutrition played a role too. Weak muscles need fuel. He made sure to get enough protein, eggs, chicken, beans, foods that would help rebuild the strength he had lost. He paid attention to his vitamins, B12, D, magnesium, nutrients that keep the nerves and muscles functioning properly. Hydration was just as important. Dehydration makes muscles weak, makes the body sluggish. He made sure to drink enough water every day. One thing that surprised him was how much his balance had weakened. Strength is not just about muscle, it is also about control, coordination. He practiced standing on one foot while brushing his teeth. He walked in a straight line, heel to toe like a tightrope walker. These little things made a big difference. They trained his brain to work with his body again. It was not easy. Some days were harder than others. Some days he felt like he was making no progress at all. But I told him something I have learned over the years. Strength is not just in the muscles. It is in the mind. The body will follow where the mind leads. If you believe you can regain your strength, then you will. But if you give up before you start, then you have already lost. Months passed. The man who once struggled to stand from his chair was now walking without fear. One day he showed up at my house with a big grin on his face. He told me he had walked all the way to the park and back. No cane, no help, just him and his own 2 feet. I feel like myself again, he said, and that was all I needed to hear. I share Robert's story because I want you to know that it is never too late to regain what was lost. It does not matter if your legs have been weak for months or even years. What matters is what you do next. Movement is medicine. Your legs need to be used to stay strong. Start small, stand more, walk more. Do something every single day, even if it is just a few steps, even if it is just a few minutes. The body responds to effort. It may be slow at first, but progress will come. Feed your muscles with the right foods. Stay hydrated, pay attention to your balance. Strengthen not just your legs, but your entire body. The core, the back, the arms. Everything works together. And above all, do not let fear stop you. The fear of falling, the fear of failing, the fear of those who lose their ability to move is simple. Of looking foolish. Those fears will hold you back if you let them. But if you push through, you will be amazed at what you can regain. I have lived long enough to know that the difference between those who stay strong and the ones who keep moving, keep living, the ones who stop, fade away. You have a choice. You can let weakness take over, or you can fight to get your strength back. I hope you choose to fight, because nothing feels better than standing on your own 2 feet and knowing that they are strong enough to carry you wherever you want to go. What lifestyle changes can slow down or even reverse leg weakness? And how quickly can improvements be noticed? I have seen too many people lose their strength because they believed it was just part of getting older. They noticed their legs getting weaker. They struggled to stand up. Their walks became shorter. Their steps became slower. Instead of fighting against it, they gave in. They sat more, moved less, and before they knew it, their legs had lost so much strength that getting it back felt impossible. But I am here to tell you that it is not impossible. I have seen people regain strength in their legs after thinking they never would. I have seen weakness slow down and even reverse. I have seen people go from struggling to walk to moving with confidence again. But it does not happen by accident. It happens because of choices, lifestyle changes, simple things that, when done consistently, can transform weak legs into strong ones. I remember my friend Harold. He was a strong man in his younger years, worked in construction, always on his feet. But when he retired, things changed. He sat more, watched more television, moved less. At first he did not notice. Then one day he realized he was using his arms to push himself up from a chair. His legs no longer had the power to do it on their own. That scared him. He asked me, "Do you think I can get my strength back?" I told him, "Yes, but you have to change how you live." And that is exactly what he did. The first thing he did was move more, not just once in a while, every single day. Movement is the only way to keep the legs strong. When you stop using them, they stop working for you. He started with small things, standing up every 30 minutes instead of sitting for hours, walking around the house instead of staying in one place, stretching his legs in the morning to wake them up. Then he added more. He started walking outside, at first just to the mailbox, then a little further each day. Some days were hard, his legs felt heavy, but he kept going, because he knew the only way to get stronger was to keep moving. Then he changed how he ate. Weak legs are not just about muscles, they are about the fuel you give your body. He made sure to get enough protein, eggs, chicken, fish, beans, foods that rebuild muscle. He added more vegetables, dark leafy greens, carrots, peppers, foods that give the body the nutrients it needs to function properly. He paid attention to vitamins, vitamin B12 for the nerves, vitamin D for the bones, magnesium for muscle function. He drank more water. Dehydration can make the body feel sluggish, can make muscles feel weak. A well-hydrated body moves better. Balance was another thing he worked on. Weak legs are dangerous when balance is poor. That is when falls happen. He practiced standing on one foot while brushing his teeth. He walked in a straight line, heel to toe, to train his body to stay steady. He focused on posture, shoulders back, core engaged, walking with purpose instead of shuffling. Sleep was something he never thought about before, but rest is just as important as movement. Muscles recover and rebuild when you sleep. Poor sleep makes the body feel weaker. He started going to bed at the same time each night, turned off screens an hour before bed, made his room dark and cool. His sleep improved, and so did his energy. One of the biggest things he had to overcome was his own mind. He had to believe that his legs could get stronger, that he was not too old to change. I told him, the body listens to the mind. If you tell yourself you are weak, you will stay weak. But if you tell yourself you are getting stronger, you will. So he changed the way he thought. Instead of saying, I can't, he started saying, I'm improving. That change made all the difference. How quickly can improvements be noticed? That depends on how much effort is put in. Harold started feeling stronger in just a few weeks. At first, it was small things: standing up without struggling, walking a little farther without feeling tired. Then after a few months, bigger changes happened. He could walk longer distances without pain. His legs felt steady. He felt like himself again. But he never stopped. Because strength is not something you build once and keep forever. It is something you maintain. The moment you stop using your legs, they start to weaken again. I tell you this because I do not want you to wait until it is too late. Weak legs are not just a part of aging. They are a result of how you live. If you move less, they weaken. If you eat poorly, they suffer. If you stop challenging them, they give up. But if you make the right changes, they can get stronger. No matter how long they have been weak, no matter how old you are. Do not let fear stop you. Do not let doubt hold you back. Start small, move more, eat better, work on balance, get good sleep, stay consistent. Improvements may come slowly at first, but they will come, and one day you will stand up, walk across a room, and realize that what once felt impossible is now easy. That is when you will know it was all worth it. How does leg weakness impact independence and quality of life? And what steps can be taken to ensure aging does not mean losing mobility? I have seen what happens when a person loses strength in their legs. It is not just about walking slower or feeling a little unsteady. It is about losing the ability to do the things that make life worth living. At first, it is small. Standing up takes more effort. Walking across the room feels different. The legs do not respond the way they used to. Then, little by little, things that were once simple start feeling like challenges. Going up the stairs, carrying groceries, getting out of a car. The body hesitates. The fear of falling creeps in. And then one day, without even realizing when it happened, a person starts avoiding movement altogether. They sit more. They ask for help with things they once did on their own. And just like that, independence begins to slip away. I have known people who once lived full lives, only to find themselves trapped in their own homes because their legs could no longer carry them. Not because they were sick, not because something tragic happened, but because they ignored the signs. They let their legs weaken until it was too late. Losing strength in the legs is not just a physical problem. It affects the mind, the emotions, the spirit. When a person can no longer move freely, their world becomes smaller. They stop going outside. They miss family gatherings. They avoid social events because they do not want to be the one who needs help. Loneliness sets in. Frustration grows. They feel like a burden. I have seen proud men who once took care of everyone around them struggle with the shame of needing help to do the simplest things. I have seen women who were once full of energy lose their spark because their bodies no longer let them move the way they wanted. But it does not have to be this way. Aging does not mean losing mobility. It does not mean losing independence. It does not mean giving up on the things that bring joy. I have lived long enough to know that the body is capable of more than we think. but it requires effort. It requires awareness. It requires taking action before things get worse. I once had a friend named Walter, a strong man in his younger years, always active, always on the move. But as he got older, he stopped paying attention to his body. His legs started feeling weaker, and instead of fighting against it, he accepted it. He sat more, he moved less. One day he told me he was afraid to walk outside alone because he did not trust his legs anymore. That fear kept him inside, and the less he moved, the weaker he got, until one day even getting out of bed became a challenge. Walter's story is not unique. It happens to too many people. But I want you to know that it does not have to happen to you. There are steps you can take to keep your legs strong, to keep moving, to keep living. The first and most important thing is to move every single day. Do not wait until your legs feel weak to start. Stand up often. Walk as much as you can. Stretch in the morning. Use your muscles so they do not forget how to work. If walking feels difficult, start small. Walk around the house, then down the street, then a little farther each day. Movement is the key to staying independent. The moment you stop using your legs, they start to weaken. Strength training is just as important. You do not need heavy weights. Your own body weight is enough. Practice standing up from a chair without using your hands. Do gentle squats. Hold on to a counter and rise up onto your toes. These small exercises build strength in the legs. They keep the muscles active. They help prevent weakness from taking over. And do not forget about balance. Standing on one foot for a few seconds each day can make a difference. Walking heel to toe in a straight line trains the body to stay steady. Good balance reduces the risk of falling, and falling is what takes away independence faster than anything else. Nutrition matters more than people realize. Muscles need fuel. If you are not eating enough protein, your body cannot rebuild what it loses. Eggs, chicken, fish, beans. These foods help keep the muscles strong. Vitamins play a role too. Vitamin B12 supports the nerves. Vitamin D keeps the bones strong. Magnesium helps the muscles function properly. Hydration is another thing people overlook. Dehydration makes the body sluggish. It makes movement feel harder. Drinking enough water each day keeps everything working the way it should. Posture and the way you walk make a difference too. I have seen people shuffle their feet, looking down instead of ahead. That is a sign of weakness setting in. Walk with purpose, shoulders back, eyes forward. Take deliberate steps. Strength is not just about the muscles. It is also about the way you carry yourself. When you walk with confidence, your body responds. And then there is the mind. Too many people convince themselves that losing strength is just part of aging, that nothing can be done about it. That is the greatest mistake of all. The body listens to what the mind believes. If you believe you are getting weaker, you will. If you believe you can stay strong, you will fight for it. You have to see yourself as capable. You have to remind yourself that movement is life, that every step you take is keeping you independent, keeping you in control of your own life. I have seen both sides. I have seen people who gave into weakness and lost their freedom, and I have seen people who refused to let age define them. People who stayed strong, who moved every day, who kept their independence because they made the choice to fight for it. It is not about luck, it is about action. If you are starting to feel weakness in your legs, do not wait. Do something about it now. If you are already struggling, do not give up. You can regain strength. You can improve. You can keep living life on your own terms. But it starts with a decision to move, to eat well, to take care of your body, to believe that aging does not have to mean losing mobility. I will tell you what I have told many others. The difference between those who stay independent and those who do not is simple. The ones who keep moving, keep living. The ones who stop lose more than just their strength. They lose their freedom. I hope you choose to keep moving, because the best way to stay in control of your life is to make sure your legs are strong enough to carry you wherever you want to go. If you liked today's discussion, don't forget to like the video, and if you haven't subscribed to the channel yet, hit the subscribe button and the bell icon to stay updated with every video we release. And yes, don't forget to share your experiences and thoughts in the comments. Every comment is special to us. Your feedback helps us improve further. We'll continue to meet you in every new video on this channel, so until next time, take care.